Hey guys, Lissa here, and today I'm going to be going over the top performing decks of day one of Descent of Dragons. These decks are the number one decks on HS Replay. HS Replay is a website that collects data from players, and we can see the top performing decks after day one. We're going to go over the top 5 decks of Descent of Dragons. Let's check them out. This video specifically is the top rated decks on HS Replay. I will be producing more videos about the top decks from pros, the top decks from content creators, stuff like that. So if you enjoy this video and want to see those videos, make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up, turn on notifications, all the things you're supposed to do for YouTube. Alright, so let's get into it. The very first deck that we have is Galakrond Shaman. Galakrond Shaman is a mix of Battlecry Shaman and Galakrond. Galakrond is the new hero that you got for free with the new expansion. When you invoke Galakrond, you create these rush minions, these 2/1 rush minions, and then when you play Galakrond, you will get 2 rush minions. They get bigger and bigger. The more you invoke him, the biggest they can be are these big 8/8 rush minions. So you get 2 8/8s with rush, which is insane value if you invoke Galakrond all the way, along with a 5/3 weapon, just like completely busted. Other things that you have in this current package is Shudderwalk. So if you Galakrond before you Shudderwalk, well, guess what? You're going to get 2 8/8s with rush again with your Shudderwalk. What we don't see is the Battlecry quest, but there's tons of Battlecry minions in this current list. Now, there are other lists with the Battlecry quest, but not this one here. Things that you see with Battlecry on curve would be Sludge Slurper on 1 into Totem, or Sludge Slurper on 1 into Lackey on 2. We also see just the invoke minions on curve. Barista's in there to get those Battlecry minions back. One of the really important cards would be Dragon's Pack. Dragon's Pack is summon 2/2/3 Spirit Wolves with Taunt, but if you've invoked twice, they are +3/+3. So they are 2 5/6 minions with Taunt on turn 5. So this is super powerful. Imagine Questrier, they get the 2 5/5 rushes. This is like that, but 2 5/6 minions with Taunt, which I kind of think is more powerful than 2 5/5 rushes. We also have Kronk's Dragonhoof, which Battlecry is to unleash a devastation as long as you've already played Galakrond, and that means you can do this again with Shudderwalk. So if you're facing control decks, you just have all this powerful stuff that control has a hard time dealing with, along with the fact that you are a very tempo style deck, so you can deal with early game and you have all this late game power. So this deck is insanely strong. Highly recommend if you're looking to just burst through the ladder on day one. Galakrond Shaman, very good deck. Also worth noting that this deck has a 69% win rate on HS Replay. Very nice. This Galakrond Shaman deck runs 14 new cards. 3 of these cards you got for free just by opening Hearthstone. That would be Shield of Galakrond. It's a taunt that invokes. Along with Galakrond, you got that for free. So that means that 11 cards you would need to craft if you did not open them. 1 of those are a legendary. 2 of them are epics. There are some rares and there are some commons. So keep that in mind. This deck costs a total of 9,600 dust. It uses 2 old legendary minions, so hopefully you have those already. Barista and Shudderwalk. Barista I'm sure could be replaced. Shudderwalk is a hard replace. I would keep that one crafted. The next deck on HS Replay is Deathrattle Rogue. Deathrattle Rogue is one of those decks that I've been wanting to play for so long, and now it seems to be doing super well, which has me really excited. It has a mix of lackeys and death rattles, with new cards being Flick Sky Shiv and Necrium Apothecary, and some more new cards. This seems like a pretty tempo style deck. It even has some burst with Leroy and some combo-y stuff. Necrium Blades in there, some old cards that we really haven't seen a lot of play from, but are super powerful. The weird thing is that Wisp is in this deck list, probably to help out Evil Miscreant, help out Edwin, Faceless Corruptor. It's a good hit for Faceless Corruptor, the new Rush Battlecry. Transform one of your minions into a copy of this. You just gotta hope that your High Spear Togwaggle does not draw a Wisp. Otherwise it's sad. But yeah, this deck looks super fun. You can use Flick Sky Shiv to kill off your Deathrattle minions and get the power out of them, stuff like that. Really cool deck. This deck ends up costing you 11,480 gold because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 legendaries in it. There are 6 legendaries, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 6 legendaries are old legendaries that you might already own. So there's only one new legendary to craft that is Flick Sky Shiv. The old legendaries are High Spear Togwaggle, Karen, Zilliax, Leroy, and Edwin. Edwin, Leroy, Zilliax are probably hard to replace. Same with High Spear Togwaggle. That's a super powerful card. I'm sure you could replace Karen because you do have Mechanical Whelps as Deathrattles in there. But Karen is super powerful. And there's only 7 new cards in this deck, making it really possible to craft if you have a lot of the old cards. The problem is that there's a lot of legendaries. And next top deck that we are going to see from HS Replay is Aggro Pirate Warrior. Yes, Pirate Warrior seems to be back. There are a lot of new cards that are supporting this deck to come back into the game. No, not Patches. Patches is not back. And there's only one legendary that you need for this deck, which is Anchor, the new weapon that after your hero attacks, draw a pirate from your deck. This deck will end up costing you 7,580 dust. There are 3 legendaries in the deck. Again, only one that you would need from the new expansions and 2 from the old expansions. Those are Captain Greenskin and Leroy. As for new cards in the deck, there are 10 new cards in the deck, including the one I talked about earlier, Anchor. The other cards being just some pirates that are very powerful, like Sky Raider, Parachute Brigand, and Horde Pillager. That's the one that equips a destroyed weapon. Super powerful if you've already Arcanite Reapered, which is the 5/2 weapon, and super powerful with Anchor because you can keep drawing pirates from your deck. The Anchor weapon is after your hero attacks, draw a pirate from your deck. Aggro decks typically struggle with draw because they're just trying to use everything they have early and just hope that it gets there. So if they're not drawing, then basically they can run out of steam. So Anchor really helps keep the steam up and keep pressuring face. So that's why this is a super powerful card. If you're a fan of aggro, then this deck could be for you. I'm not a huge fan of Pirate Warrior. I've always disliked it, but there are some people who have a huge love for Pirate Warrior in their heart, and if you do, make sure you try out this deck. Just don't face me on the ladder because I will be salty. Yarr. The 4th deck that is on HS Replay's top 5 decks of the new expansion is Highlander Mage. Highlander Mage was really fun last expansion, and now we have new dragons to add to the list. That includes Dragon Queen Alexstrasza, a new legendary that adds 2 dragons to your hand that cost 0. As long as you don't have any deck, even runs a side quest, Learn Draconic, where if you spend 8 mana spells, you get a 6/6 dragon. So that's pretty cool. You also will see Frizz Kindle Roost in this deck, which reduces the cost of dragons in your deck by 2. You can see the Malagos aspect of magic, where you can discover a super powerful spell. Really fun cards in this deck. There are a lot of legendaries, though. Mostly old legendaries. But there are 1, 2, 3 new legendaries that I just talked about. So keep that in mind. This deck is going to cost you 18,760 gold. So it definitely is on the expensive side. But if you already own a lot of these cards because Highlander Mage was really popular last expansion, there is a chance that you'll be able to craft this because you already own a lot of these cards. Reno Rectologist. Reno the Relicologist. I always call him Rectologist. That's so wrong. I'm so sorry. We also have old cards like Polymorph, Arcane Intellect, Fire Tree, Witch Doctor, stuff like that. But very powerful deck. It is around 60% win rate, so make sure you check that out. Our fifth and final deck is kind of a repeat. It is Galakrond Shaman again, but this one has the quest in it, so it is more quest focused. Again, still has Shudderwalk, still has a lot of the same cards, but uses a lot of the old cards that you would see in Quest Shaman. This deck here is pretty inexpensive if you already owned a lot of the old cards, because there's no new legendaries in it except for Galakrond, which you were given for free. There is 2 epics that are new, at least 4 rares that are new, but for the most part, it's a lot of the old cards that you saw in Quest Shaman before. So if you owned Quest Shaman before and you only have so much just to spare, this deck could be for you. It has cost a total of 7,280 dust, so really not too bad. Again, as long as you own the old cards and you own the old quest, because that is a legendary card. The deck is super tempo styled. It runs Troll Batrider, which is a new 4-mana 3/3. Battlecry, deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion. So that takes the place of the Wasp, which was deal 3 damage to a chosen minion as long as you have a lackey on board. So slightly different, but yes, this deck is a second option for the Galakrond deck. What's interesting to me is this deck does not run Kronks, which is that if you already played Galakrond, you get to do a Devastation or you get to draw Galakrond. That card is super powerful, especially with Shudderwalk. So I'm kind of surprised it's not in the list, but my guess is this list is slightly more aggressive, and because it is more of an aggressive play style, they found that it was too clunky in the list. That's going to be my best guess. While these are the best decks of the first day, they might not be the best decks overall in the future, but they are a good starting point if you're looking to craft something right now. I would definitely try out these 5. I will be putting out more videos from your top 5 pros deck list, your top 5 content creator deck list, stuff like that. So be on the lookout for those. Make sure you throw a thumbs up if you like the video. Turn on notifications so you can see when those other videos go live. And have a great day and have fun with Descent of Dragons. Bye!